Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert. On this channel, we talk Kanye West, and today we are taking a little bit of a break from Donda rumors, news, updates, leaks, what have you, to talk about this right here, posted by Fresling, West Sub Ever. And honestly, I don't know. I'm skeptical of this a little bit because there's no proof or evidence, at least that I've seen, that this really was going to be the cover to So Help Me God. But that's what's being said here, and we have time to kill. So let's dig into it and at least look at what is going on here and how it could have applied to So Help Me God. So you can see the post here, 2 new So Help Me God covers leaked. And this one right here, we're going to get into the origin because, as you can see, it has a Yeezy branding on it, which might make you say, Chris, why would you doubt it? There's a Yeezy branding. But this is an established work of art already that's hundreds of years old, I think. And so putting a Yeezy branding on it, anyone could do that in Photoshop. And it doesn't necessarily prove that it was going to be the album cover. It doesn't say, so help me God, or anything like that. And then the second one they posted was this, which is what was it? Was that something with Mary Magdalene? I don't know. But it's the tattoo that Kanye has. We know that when Kanye finally announced, so help me God, and put out the cover art, it was this cover art specifically rather than this. But going down here, you can see that Fresling said the art used is the first cover, or in the first cover, is Ezekiel's vision of the Valley of Dry Bones. We're going to get to that in a second. And you can see a little further down, Meme Kick here said, Meme I Kick. Okay, the first one is cold. It reminds me of Gustave Dore's biblical illustrations. If it isn't actually one of them, he did a ton, so I'm not sure I could recognize it just like that. And it actually is one of Gustave Dore's. So good job, Meme I Kick. We also have somebody down here saying, not Kanye like skeletons, but where these leak from? And Metaholic says they were first posted on Kanye to the 2 this morning, but there wasn't any additional info. And then Dealey1 comes in saying they're from Oinky on Kanye West Cord on Discord, which I don't know if that means something to you. It means nothing to me, but apparently Oinky was the one that posted them. I have no idea where Oinky got them from or why they suddenly surface now, but okay, so beyond this, So Help Me God, in case you don't know, is going to be Kanye's album after Yeezus. He actually announced it in 2013, so people spent a lot of 2014 expecting it. And you can see from the Kanye West Unreleased tracker here that there were a lot of songs made in this period. I mean, it goes from the latter part of 2013 all the way to the end of 2015, overlapping with the Life of Pablo era. So because So Help Me God ended up being the Life of Pablo, but there wasn't that many songs that actually made the jump from one album to the other. You can see tracks like 3500 that actually ended up going to Travis Scott, All Day, which dropped as a single, a Black Skinhead remix with Miley Cyrus and Travis Scott, Can You Be, which is one of the Holy Grail Kanye tracks. It says Waves referenced there. That's because people thought the song was called Waves, but it's nothing like the waves that we ended up getting on the Life of Pablo. Don't Jump, Fall Out of Heaven, Feedback, there we go. FML, there we go. 4 or 5 Seconds is another one that just ended up being a single. Get Off Me, I've never even heard of. God Level was one that was in an Adidas commercial. Yeah, and just nothing ever happened from it. Highlights, another version of that. I Feel Like That, which is intense and was paired with All Day in a music video. Is that right? Yeah. Midas Touch, New Angels, Nina Chop, which ended up becoming famous. Piss on Your Grave, which also ended up going to Travis Scott's Southside Serenade. Oh, that was a beautiful song. The Ballad of Kanye, Tom Cruise, Wolves, like an early version of Wolves. Snippet from Vine from late 2013 with Cashmere Cat doing a reference track over a beat that sounds very similar. And then, yeah, previewed at Yeezy Season 1 was meant to be released with All Day, which is kind of crazy that we're talking like 2015, early 2015, and then it took us all the way into 2016 for Wolves to finally come out as an official track. Sounds familiar, you know? And then Untitled, all kinds of stuff before we finally get into the Life of Pablo. So, Vision of the Valley of Dry Bones. So you can see here, they actually even use the Gustave Dore image here. It's book 30 or chapter 37 of the book of Ezekiel, and the chapter details a vision revealed to the prophet Ezekiel, conveying a dreamlike, realistic, naturalistic depiction. Okay. In his vision, the prophet sees himself standing in the valley full of dry human bones. He is commanded to carry a prophecy. Before him, the bones connect into human figures. Then the bones become covered with tendon, tissues, flesh, and skin. Then God reveals the bones to the prophet as the people of Israel in exile and commands the prophet to carry another prophecy in order to revitalize these human figures, to resurrect them, and to bring them to the land of Israel. So bones become people, and then Ezekiel has the mission to bring these people out of this valley into the land of Israel. And you can see here some of Gustave Dore's other work: the expulsion from the garden, the murder of Abel, Cain, the deluge. Man, that's intense. That's cool. Noah cursing Ham. What's wrong with ham? Ham's delicious. Huh. The Tower of Babel. These are really neat. Okay, Abraham with the three strangers, the destruction of Sodom, the expulsion of Hagar. It's very similar. Hagar in the wilderness, she is not having a good time. The trial of the faith of Abraham, the burial of Sarah, Eliezer and Rebekah, Isaac blessing Jacob. Okay, I should stop looking at all of these. So here you can see the actual Bible verse and how heightened the language is. The hand of the Lord was on me, and he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of the valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth, yada, yada, yada. Then he said to me, Son of man, these bones are the people of Israel. They say, our bones are dried up and our hope is gone. We are cut off. Therefore, prophesy and say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. My people, I am going to open your graves and bring you up from them. What a nice thing to say to someone, I will bring you back to the land of Israel. Then you, my people, will know that I am the Lord when I open your graves and bring you up from them. God is a little redundant as he repeats himself almost verbatim when it was just the previous sentence that he said. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land. Then you will know that I, the Lord, have spoken, and I have done it, declares the Lord. Okay, well, so that's that. And if you're thinking about potential applications for So Help Me God, that's hard, right? Because even though we have this list of songs, for a lot of it, we don't really know what the track list would have been, what else he might have included. If we're thinking of it in terms of the Life of Pablo, and you really want to Father stretch my hands here and do a reaching application of this, then the thing that would jump to my mind is the idea of bringing somebody back from the dead. And if Kanye was keeping with some of the themes and ideas of So Help Me God into the Life of Pablo, namely that he is looking at what it's like to be married, settling into married life, what's it like for him at this point now that he has a daughter, and starting to get into this tension between the life he was living as a superstar musician and the life he is living now as somebody in a committed relationship, a father, a husband, and the tension of that experience. Then we know on the Life of Pablo, you kind of have Kanye bringing back the old Kanye. I miss the old Kanye, straight from the go Kanye, et cetera, which is what Waves ends up being. The song itself, you have new Kanye start the song with his just intense, I want to fight you, I want to be a jerk while I'm in this club, and then it kind of goes back to the old soulful Kanye in the second verse, and Waves Don't Die. It's this part of Kanye that was innocent and spiritual and artistic and much nicer than the new Kanye, who's always in a bad mood, finally makes his return because Waves Don't Die. And this part of Kanye, who he was cut off from for a while, wasn't dead to him. So you could maybe start to make some kind of connection to the idea of Kanye was already thinking about, I'm connected to this part of me that I haven't felt connected to in a long time. I am a happier me. I'm back to this version of me that I lost when my mom died, when fame consumed my life. And this is the part of me that is kind of reawakening, and I mean, you could start to go there. Honestly, because we still don't know if this was even going to be the cover, and we also don't know at what point Kanye decided that this was the story he was going to tell. We do know that Wolves is a crucial aspect to the life of Pablo and explaining that journey. Like Kanye saying that my life was like I was too wild, and to Kim, like you were also too wild and looking for somebody and feeling like no one can love you, and I was feeling like no one could love me, yet we love each other, and how wonderful that is. Like, so I think having something like Wolves, and knowing that Famous and FML and some other songs were already being worked on in this time period does maybe point to the idea of a general connection between So Help Me God and the life of Pablo, but just different ways of expressing it. So I don't know. I don't think the theory is that bad if we are making a lot of assumptions about So Help Me God having a similar theme and what this could apply to. But at the end of the day, we have no idea. So it's just wishful thinking, and that's currently where we're at with Donda, you know? Just wishful thinking that Kanye will drop the album. I said we weren't going to talk about it this video, but it's still on my mind. I keep wanting to check iTunes this whole time and think maybe while I'm recording this, the album dropped. The answer to that's no. Anyway, this was 11 minutes of your time. I'm going to end the video. So until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Cheers.